Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are live and Rachel is in the house. Tonight we're just going to have one of our discussions. God knows where it's going to go, but get it in the chat. Please chime in. Here we go.
Talking bands no one talks about. Grant's Rock Warehouse.
All right, welcome everybody. We are live and Rachel is in the house. So tonight we're just doing yet another one of our monthly live shows where Rachel and I just get together and chit chat.
We talk because we're in the vinyl community, so we know what's going on and we have words of wisdom.
And if you like Rachel talking music, this is your show because that's all we talk about.
This is where it's going to happen. Yeah, we'll do.
But music. Rachel, there's a lot going on. Those new Beatles releases are out.
Yes.
Or
yes.
Well, what's the release date?
22nd November.
Okay.
2 November. Kennedy's assassination anniversary. Unfortunately, it's a bit, macabre, a little down that way,
But are these going to be? It's hard for me to keep track because I've got that box set on CD.
Yes.
And those are all taken from what they had put out previously. But I love those. I grew up on the American albums.
Yeah, have you got the box handy so the kids can see what it looks like?
I'd have to go get it. It looks just like the LP box, only it's the CD box.
I'm sending love out to all our viewers. Hi, kids.
So do we know for sure what they are using?
Yes.
Are they using the American Masters?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Dave Dexter Jr., born 1915. Okay, he's very old. He didn't like the Beatles. He was all American. He says the British invasion. I hate it. And so he didn't like the way the record sounded, and so he had a lot of reverb on there. And so it is exactly like Christmas, little children. It is. So, he had a lot of reverb. They call it, Dexterization, Dave Dexter Jr. Meanwhile, in Canada, where I am, folks, we had a guy named Paul White. I always think of Snow White. Paul White. And he was born in England, and he was born in 1932. So he wasn't, he's 8 years older than John and Ringo. Mm-hmm. So much younger. He got the whole British sensibility of it. So he had a lot of respect, a lot of love for it. In fact, the Americans at Capitol, because of Dave Dexter, passed on the Beatles. So I don't want them. That's why we got those VJ records introducing the Beatles, the 45s that went out on the VJ label. That's because Capitol USA, courtesy of Dave Dexter Jr., don't shoot the messenger. Dave Dexter Jr. didn't like him and they passed on. And then later, Beatlemania was unavoidable. Ed Sullivan, right here in our show, February 9th, 1964, Beatlemania goes, and Capitol cannot ignore the Beatles at this point. As a matter of fact, I Want to Hold Your Hand, they finally relented and put out I Want to Hold Your Hand in January 64. It finally hit the charts. January 64, just a month ahead of the Beatles, just in time for it to reach number one. They come into America, they're number one on the charts with I Want to Hold Your Hand on Capitol.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
well, those are what I grew up with. So I'm great. I'm glad they're coming out.
Well, it's a big deal. So this is the first Capitol record, right? It's not the first one. It's an 80s reissue. Yeah. They came out with the Beatles' second one. Mazzy calls this the greatest pure rock and roll album that the Beatles ever did. It's his favorite. I think if Mazzy was to pick one of this would be it. Hey, Richard Zimnewski, how you doing, Rich?
We have a female stars here. We have a female representing.
I like girls. We love the ladies. Then we got, remember, this is kind of an interesting story. You know all this, but I'll tell the kids. Some of them don't know.
Go ahead.
Capitol never realized that the Beatles might become a movie-making sensation. So look at this. That label says United Artists, okay? So they got to put out, they had a free reign to do so. They put it out legally, no fight from Capitol. So all they could do was put out this thing called Something New, which was the scraps off of that with a couple of extra things. So it's kind of the B-list songs off of the movie Hard Day's Night, right? You'll notice that A Hard Day's Night itself is not on there, right? They had to wait to get access to it.
You know what? I've got a later version of that. Okay. Now, if anybody's followed Steve Hoffman's site or whatever, you know if you're going to get these records, that you want the purple label or the rainbow label later ones of these records because they're totally better than the orange label 70s ones.
Yes.
So if you can get those purple label, I've got a purple label, okay, Hard Day's Night on Capitol. So look for that. Now I'm wondering if these are the new remasters are going to be better than those of Capitol because those 80s ones are really great.
Okay, so the 80s ones are great because they got a Canadian helping them out. A Canadian by the name of Wally Truggett. So you want to look at the 80s one, you got to have Wally and the Dead Wax. Usually signed off as WALLY, but sometimes it's just like a WLLY. You know, there'd be variations on things. Yeah, Beatles 65. That's a great album. Boom. So this will be included. So the original Dexterization, there was a video, we showed it on my program, and they were talking about it. And the mastering, how they're going through it. They talked to the mastering engineer on this, the remaster engineer. He's basically they're going to keep more of the bass on. It's going to be similar to what we've heard before with these new reissues. So you're going to have more bass. The vocals will be more centered. The treble, even the treble is going to be raised on that. So more, presumably dynamic range. What are the go-to? What are the industry standards? In the modern era, nothing is going to replace that 2014 mono box right there.
Yeah.
But if you're buying OGs, and of course, this is all Beatles over there. That's all Beatles. This whole thing down there is all Beatles.
Dang.
And so, yeah, multiple copies. So nothing's going to replace the UK first pressings, right? Those are the gold standard. But I will tell you this, out of the 2014, I asked Massey this blind question on my program. I said, what's the best selling? What's the best sounding? In your opinion, what did they do the best job? What single album did they really knock it out of the park on that 2014 set? Mm-hmm. And he answered correctly. He says correct because I agreed with him 100%. Hard Day's Night. If you got a 2014 mono with a Hard Day's Night, that thing, I don't know what they did, what they peppered it with, Grant, but it is absolutely astounding. Brilliant dynamic. All the audiophile terminology you want to throw at that thing, you can. It's an absolute.
Yeah, I've got the CDs of those. I used to have all the mono records, but they started going up in price, and I said, God, I'm happy with the CD box set. I sold all.
CDs, compact discs get a bad rap, but I enjoy them. I've got the. I think you can see it. No, you can't because I've got it hidden. But some CD mono treatments are really good. So I've got the Bob Dylan over here.
Yeah.
And this is a Bob Dylan mono set. This is really great for compact disc buyers. It's not far off from the vinyl, The vinyl is very good as well. I've got my Bob Dylan over there somewhere. Yeah, Bob's right over there. Mm-hmm. So, they're good. They're good CDs. So these are really good. So same with the Beatles in mono. The box set is very nice. Pricey, still pricey, but that'll be your industry standard. Having said all that, it's really nice to have these American records back again. Hey, Dave, I love that. That's an old picture of me, folks. That is me circa 1977. And I've got a stubby Canadian beer in my hand there. And I got my New York Cosmos. We had seen Pele in Seattle, went down to Seattle. And this is taken at my friend's.
You look like a Ramon.
I do have the Ramon thing. I was at a concert once. I'm moving along because I was tall and skinny as a youngster. And so he says, look, it's Joey Ramone, because my hair is always.
You look kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What year is that?
That's 1977.
Man, you just look so rock and roll.
Oh, yeah. That's me. I'm born to rock, man. And I got I just put a pedal board together. I have so much fun with that.
Well, Dane says the Neil Young archive box sets are great on C. Volume 3 sounds unreal. I think all those Neil Young CDs sound great because Neil really cares about that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I think they're great. They're not brick walled. The mastering's very good. Yeah, I think so. Well, so
yeah.
you know Dane then?
I've through my channel, yeah.
Okay. Where did he get the picture? Did you post it?
Yeah, I post all sorts of stuff, on my show, and he probably just grabbed a screenshot of it.
I love it.
It's a great thing.
Brian McFadden. Beatle mono records aren't exactly alluring to me to buy the box set. It might be a buyer's remorse. $120. Not much of a fan of the really early stuff. Revolver, Rubber Soul started my journeys. I like it all, Brian. Love you,
Yeah.
Brian. I love it all, though.
Yeah, I'll take it all, Brian, too. So all the way, but I'm hardcore. I admit I'm a hardcore Beatle fan. But I got to tell you this: one of the reference for my stereo, I've got a Marantz set. I got a Rega P6. These are ADS M1290s reissues from 1990. They're reissued in 1990, right? Their anniversary set. Tall boy speakers. They're beautiful. Question, Rich, is there something that you wish they would put out? Yeah. Oh shit. What would I want? That's hard to say. Isn't that hard to say? They've got everything.
Yeah, there is something I wish they'd put back out.
Let's Get the Mono, because it's been a few years since they did that. Let's put it out again. Why not?
But do you remember for Record Store Day, they put out the Beatles Christmas records in a box set?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get that?
I've got it, yeah. It's
Why don't they? I wish I should have got it. I didn't get it like an idiot. But I wish they would put out the Beatles Christmas album. Put them out on an album.
I've got the album, too.
I've got a bootleg of the album.
I got the real deal. And I got it because of Kimbo. Yeah, I got the real deal.
Mine's a boot.
Yeah, my Beatles Christmas album, everything seems to. I've got more records up here. But I think my Christmas Beatles is over here somewhere. Oh, yeah, I know what I did. With it. Okay. I can call. Yeah, this thing here.
Yeah, I need that.
My Christmas Beatles. This is
I think you can still get it. I don't think it's.
Oh yeah, I don't. I think it's around. I don't know. God, I have no idea. But it's still around. You're right.
But don't you think that should be released, like at least on an LP form, like they did for the fan club?
It would be nice to have it up. I got one, but I had to buy it, But I mean, I bought a bootleg back in the 70s, and then Dana Kimbowitz had one, and Kimball's such a great guy. He goes, Rachel, I want you to have that.
Prog Rock Dude says the mono mixes should be more readily available beyond the vinyl and CDs, honestly. Yeah. I feel like there'd be more of an appreciation for older acts like the Beatles if that option was there. Like through streaming? You can't stream can you stream the Beatles? You can't, can you?
Okay. But there's a remaster, Rubber Soul. Yeah, Rubber Soul, people are looking for that. Maybe next year it'll come out, 1965, right? The anniversary coming out.
It's coming. They're going to put it out.
The Beatles have put out a couple of official live albums. Of course, 8 Days a Week from the soundtrack to the Ronnie Howard re-examination of the Hollywood Bowl touring years. I've got that. The movie on Blu-ray, and I didn't bother buying the album, I got to admit, because, I have Hollywood Bowl 1977. That came out with the Bob Eubanks from the Newlywed Game, the tickets on the cover. I'm really good with that. And the nice thing about that, too, is the inside of that, it's got this steel plate record, which I got. It's a steel plate of the Beatles.
I remember
one of the few memorabilia things. But this thing there is the actual from Worcester, England. But it's beautiful. I mean, this thing's in gorgeous shape. It looks just mint, just gorgeous.
Beautiful.
So it's, and I always wanted this, and one became available, and I picked it up. Just one of the few little memorabilia things. I have a couple of memorabilia items around. I got you can't see it from here, but it's a Stu Sutcliffe self-portrait in ink that he did back at the Liverpudlian Art College. Are we telescoping? Oh no, Grant, you're telescoping, buddy. Okay, well,
I'm going to switch it off. It was on Wi-Fi. I'm switching it over straight into the modem. Right. Are they doing a premiere up in where you are? I don't know if they're doing the premiere, but I've got tickets to go see One Hand Clapping because Paul's putting it out selectively in different theaters.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go see it when it comes out. Like,
I don't know if it's getting streamed in Canada or being premiered or shown in Canada at all.
Loki, I don't want to spoil the party, so I'll go. All right, Loki.
Loki, don't do Beatle lyrics in evil ways.
Loki hasn't caused any problems here today.
He's been very well behaved. I wish I could say the same thing for Pumping Vinyl.
You can stream the stereo stuff, not mono, sadly.
Yeah.
Okay. Things We Said Today is a great early tune. Oh, God, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, good discernment on that. It does have a kind of a darker element to it, too.
I've got the Revolver box, but I don't really ever pull it. I've got all of them, but I don't really. I've got the CD ones, but I don't have the records. I don't know. Okay. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Ernesto. Rachel, talk to Grant. Talk to Grant about your new streaming service you're using.
I'm Pumping Vinyl, you little bugger.
It's not Pumping Vinyl.
Yeah, there he is. Look at that.
Why has Pumping Vinyl been causing trouble?
Well, he can from time to time.
Yeah. Well,
if it's even him, I mean, it could be an impersonator. You never know these days. When they don't show your face, who do you know? What do you?
I don't know. I'm going to give Pumping Vinyl a wrench, so I know that
it's not him.
I can keep track. Who knows who it is? I don't know.
It could be Vaj.
Pumping Vinyl's never been here.
Vaj does a lot with him.
He's only a couple of months old. This one.
Yeah, I could be Vaj, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Welcome anyway. I'll take it. Anyway, the new streaming. So what Ernesto's bringing up, you're using a new streaming service.
I am.
And how's that going for you?
It's called Restream. There's things I like about it. There's things I don't like about it. We talked about one of these behind stage before we got on. Grant and I talked a little bit. It's harder to tell if somebody's coming on. If you want to get on camera with me, we do open the panel up for people after the show. I do a monologue at the start. My show runs every day, like it's crazy. At 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific, I'm in Canada, the West Coast. So I'm same time zone as Washington State, California, Oregon, right? And so that's darn early. And so what happens is, you can catch me there. But StreamYard's raised their price, right? So I'm in Canada again. Our pitiful dollar can't compete. It's going to cost me about $68 a month.
Oh my God! No way.
Yeah, it's currently I pay like $35 a month Canadian for it, with all the tax and everything, And so I switch over Restream, which costs me $16 USD a month, which is basically close to $20, almost $20 a month through Restream. It allows me to have 10 people on camera, just the same as usual. I can show and share videos on it, just like the other one. There's a little more latency, so I have to go through a latency. I've been helped by Jade, the lovely Jade Starr. And so she's helped me get some of the technical issues settled by cutting down on the latency. Instead of using normal latency through YouTube, this is what you do, because all these platforms interface with YouTube.
Yeah.
And so you have to make them dance. So that's one of the things, right?
Well, I've paid for YouTube for a year, so I guess I'll just let it ride out because I don't have to pay anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't checked out the other one. I briefly checked it out to see.
Yeah.
But there are things about, when we do a lot of like on the Contrarians, we do a live show every Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we have tons of images where we have to pop up images. There's a problem with StreamYard. When you load up a lot of images, they will slowly disappear.
Oh.
Because you could load them up and then you can go back in an hour and several will be missing. So it's glitchy.
Strange.
And everybody knows that there's audio issues with StreamYard.
Yeah, the audio is better with the Restream from what I'm hearing from the people that watch the program.
Yeah, the video looks wonderful.
It's better too.
Yeah, and the video's higher resolution. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So I don't know. I'll probably get there eventually, but I do so many shows, Rachel. It's hard for me just to stop.
No, listen, I hear you preaching a choir on that.
But we do have some questions. Are there any Beatle mashups you like?
No, I'm not. I mean, the whole thing with the love, the creation, when they've got Tomorrow Never Knows, and Within You, Without You, they did the mashup on that. It's okay, but you don't mess. If the Beatles is perfect to me, so you don't mess with perfect to me.
And that's why I don't like, Schneal play a lot of Beatles covers on his Ski Lodge show, and it just makes me cringe. There are some bands I give a pass to.
Well, I've got a whole section up here, and that's a part of my record collection thing up there. I've got a whole section dedicated to Beatle knockoff bands that sound like they're doing the Beatles. I've got Booker T and the MGs. What is that, Melrose or whatever, when they're walking across?
Yeah.
They're the boulevard. They're doing Abbey Road. They had just heard Abbey Road. They were knocked out by the album, and they wanted to play it. They liked it, and so they gave it their own soulful, treatment, and it's very, very good.
Rachel's very popular. Rachel, do you know the Canadian band Monkey House that have a Steely Dan flavor?
No, I don't. I don't know them at all. I do know, and I mean, I've got a whole I use Discogs. I got a whole section filled with Canadian artists. Like, if they're Canadian, I just put them there. Comes in handy for doing YouTube contests within the vinyl community. Somebody says, show me 3 Canadian albums. Oh, okay. I go quickly over to the category, and I can quickly find or suss them out. Right.
Look at Loki. I thought Loki was leaving, but he's still here. Rachel's monologue is an hour of insightful, well-researched takes on musical news and occasional, I don't know what that word is, forays in the political scene.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, this is why it's unbelievable. Like, I'm all in on Trump, right? Not everybody likes him, blah blah blah. So I will touch on that where other people wouldn't. I go where angels fear to tread. And Loki cannot stand Trump, right? He thinks it's very problematic, to say the least. And a lot of people do. But, thank God for music. That kind of binds us together. Most people can handle it. Some people can't, right? And that's just nature. But it doesn't matter to me because I just do what I do. You got to be true to yourself, right?
Yeah.
I'm a transsexual, for the love of God. Talk about being true to yourself.
There you go. You are.
Yeah. I like Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley's my favorite Kiss guy. Of all the 4 Kiss guys.
Did someone bring up Ace Frehley?
Yeah. Rachel, you sound exactly like Ace.
Well, you're a coherent version of Ace.
Yeah. Well, he's had his history. Don't worry about Super Strike. We're not doing politics. I'm just explaining a bit about, what I am and what you can go on my channel. Stay far away.
Check out Rachel's channel.
No, don't go. Stay far away from my channel, Super Strike.
Well, it's not all politics. You do talk music, so you.
Of course,
you
man.
Talk a lot of things.
I know my stuff, but I've got Dress to Kill, and I've got Hotter Than Hell. Those are my 2 favorite. But also, Destroyer was gifted to me because I wanted that, and also Kiss Alive. I had to have that. But I'm born in '58, so 1974. Kiss is starting to roll. I'm 16. Holy crap. Am I the right age?
Age.
I'm the right age. I came home from a party. I've been smoking and drinking, smoking the funny stuff, Ringo. And I come home and I knew who the band was. I already had a couple of, but I hadn't seen them before. And they were on In Concert or Midnight Special. I think it was In Concert. And they were moving around, and I was so high that they were staccatoed moving and and they're blowing the fire with Gene Simmons and everything. It was fantastic. My favorite Kiss album is Dress to Kill. That's because that's my gateway. My buddy had the original. I remember going over to his place. I go, what's this? Because the faces are all white and the makeup and all this. He goes, that's Kiss. I go, what the hell's that? What the hell's Kiss? And so he played it for me, and I was the right age. I said, oh, this is actually really good. So my album, his album was the beginning, the debut. My album was Dress to Kill, and with the embossed and the wonderful Mark Kopernicki, Mark Anthony K gifted me, because I promote him a lot on my programs. Very kindly gifted me my Kiss albums, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I would say my favorite Kiss. What would be my favorite? Well, I think if I just had one to listen to, it'd be Hotter Than Hell.
Hotter Than Hell is a great album. I mean, it's criticized for the recording. They could have done a better mastering engineer.
Well, no, I think who did that? It was the one guy that was in Dust. Oh crap! Who in the chat? Who produced the first two Kiss albums? Remind me, because my brain is a terrible thing.
Different people came in.
Yeah, but I don't know
Love it.
why.
I did
Because the
both.
first album, I think
both.
the first Kiss album doesn't sound too bad, but man, the second one sounds wretched. But I think that's part of the charm.
Well, it can be with this with that period of music, right?
Okay, Rachel, what was that movie box set which was released for pre-order a little while back?
I'm very much a product of my generation, Grant. So I like pop cultural reference. So that's films, TVs, movies, Star Trek, the Beatles, I own it. I wear it. So Criterion collection, I've got about John, who's here, John Dagon, has been so kind and gifted me a number, but I go out and buy them myself. There is I want to say a 43 to 53 Criterion movies in a gigantic box set. And I looked at them out of I think it's 45 movies. Out of the 45, I own 5 of them already. So that's not a bad return. When in Canada, we're paying upwards like 60 to 70 bucks for some of these movies. Criterion, they call it film school in a box. They're well curated. There's extra features with it. They're packed to the stars with it. But it's a Criterion deluxe set that's coming out also in November, right? Mm-hmm. And the price tag is around $600 US, so it'll be like 8 some odd Canadian.
The listening party pumping vinyl. I don't mean to jump around, but Rachel will be back on Sunday, and we will be playing 80s.
I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun.
So we'll do 2 hours. It'll probably go 2.5 hours. That's usually where it goes. But Rachel give me 15 tracks. I'll pick 15, and we just hang out. I think the last show we had, I almost had like up to 90 people watching. So it's
on our last listening party. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I keep getting more and more every week.
Well, so people are catching the vibe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, word's getting out.
So so Rachel will be back on Sunday, and it's going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to that because it's going to be fun to pick. My favorite part of that whole thing is picking the tunes.
Right.
Yeah, I love the tune.
So whatever you want to see, and everybody, if you're new here and you haven't heard one of my listening parties, it's all about playing stuff. I have guests on, and they pick songs that maybe you haven't heard. They want to turn you on to stuff, and it's all about just sharing knowledge. And it's really, Rachel, we're just on here just to turn people on to music is all the whole idea of it is. So just fun to hang out and talk about music.
Yeah, it's always good time. Now, Grant is freezing out. You're freezing up a little bit from my end. How's he doing with your people? Is he freezed up a bit? Well, that's what Grant gets his signal back. I've been collecting these. This is incredible. This is Jethro Tull, War Child, the one with Bungle in the Jungle on it. These are like a mini library of absolutely beautiful books. So you got the 2 CDs, and then sometimes what they'll do is they'll add a DVD. They range anywhere from 2 CDs to like 2 CD combination, 2 CDs, 2 DVDs, maybe 3 CDs, always a variation. Steve Wilson from Porcupine Tree does the mastering on these, or the remixing more accurately. And they've got a little box. And now Grant's got to come back. I'm on my own here. I'm used to doing this because I run my own show, but whoops. It's always something falling out of these. But you get little essays and everything else. These things go for Canadian anywhere from about 65 to 125 bucks, depending how many CD, DVD combos are in them. All right. And over there, you can see that we've got more. Those are more. And then it's hard to do that. Right there are some more of them. So right now I've got 11 of these things. And, I think I've got 12. I got 12 now. The 13th one is on order, or the 12th one's on order. Passion Play, Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die is the next one on the way in. So, but it's nice. I mean, one of the advantages of getting the big screen, you kind of see what I've got going on back here. So we got guitars and Beatles and all this sort of thing. So yeah, I did want to talk about the Beatles box, Grant and I talking about that. And now, can you kids still see me because it's Grant's show, and want to make sure that everything's proceeding normally until we get Grant back. And I dropped my card down there. Also, I just finished watching another guy I like a lot. Yeah, Rach, loving the guitar, says Star Peters. Thanks so much. I bring your comment up. I don't have that power in Grant's show, so we just do what we do. Good to go, Rachel. How about a link so I can keep you company? What Grant is? I don't have the power to give you a link here. Otherwise, I possibly might. This came in. I was just watching Buddy Holly, a little documentary on the crash. We figured out the other day because I had forgotten. It's in Iowa. They just played the, I forget what they call it, like the Winter Palace or whatever, or the Surfside, something like that. And so with that venue, there was the flipping of the coin to get the seats. Richie Valens, Big Bopper, Buddy Holly, and they flew. They had a young 21-year-old pilot. He had some instrument rating, but not a lot of experience on the aircraft they were taking. The weather report, there was a strong northern front coming in that was expanding. It was about 100 miles wide, became very problematic. And so because of that, they shouldn't have taken the plane off, but they did. Now, Rachel's floundering. Rachel, don't forget, you can go to your box of impressions and an emergency. Thank you, Loki. But yeah, it was very interesting. So the plane went out. It only crashed about 6 miles from where they took off in Iowa. They were on their way to Fargo, North Dakota, is where the next venue is going to be. And what was really interesting, the little presentation I saw, is that the planned trip, this winter tour that they were on, was so poorly planned that they were crisscrossing all the way across, various states to go get this concert tour done. And it was just crazy. They're in Wisconsin and they cross over and then they come back and they're zigzagging north, south, east, west. It was horrible. And of course, everybody was getting sick. The flu bug was going around. And the Big Bopper had come down with the flu. He wanted to see a doctor. So he said, look, I'll go on the plane if you can get me on so I can get looked at, checked out, so we can keep everything going. And it's just one of these great avoidable tragedies that was there. But anyway, love this. Now, we got a comment, lights out. Are we done here? Is this the end of it here? Have we lost the signal? I think Grant forgot he didn't have any what's called pants. He doesn't have pants on. Holy smokes. I'm trying to think what else I can amuse and bemuse you with. But because it's his show, right? And I don't want to talk about some other things. You're still here, Rich. This is my better half, Scoozy. Thank you, Scoozy, for being here. Some CDs, they do vary. People talk about that. Yeah, the fantastic movie. Brian talking about Gary Busey, Buddy Holly movie, fantastic movie. Yeah, I have that little guy Toad from American Graffiti. You remember he was a bass player in it? It was a good movie. Sounds of Silence. I got the album. Well, what do they call it? Sounds of Silence. What's that called? Simon and Garfunkel. I don't know. It might be called Sounds of Silence. This is what the Patreon is like. I've been considering joining. Well, you should join Patreon. Patreon's a lot less intense than my main show. Sue's on. Usually it just takes the form Sue and I chit-chatting. Charles Martin Smith was the bass player. That's exactly right. He played Farley Mowat. He was hilarious in American Graffiti. Thank you, Brian. Yeah. No, sorry, Rich Strickler. This is a great channel, folks. If you're not subscribed to Rich Strickler, please avail yourself of the opportunity. Make that happen. Rachel, did you like the movie yesterday?
We were too tired to watch.
We did not watch.
Maybe tonight.
What was it? High school.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back,
No,
host.
sure, it's Central High.
Hey,
Host.
I knew you'd have it. I don't know what happened.
You just disappeared.
It all went down.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're dealing with the internet, ladies and gentlemen. It
This is crazy. Now you're back.
let me back in.
Back.
Anyway, Rachel? What were we talking about?
We were talking about Beatles and mono, stereo, Dave Dexter Gordon. I switched while you were off. I was starting talking about this.
Oh.
Was gifted to me by Marty, our Oregon-based truck driver, and 6 LP set. But I was talking about watching another documentary, a little one, just on the crash. What happened? February 3rd, 1959. Right.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. The day the music died. Right. I'm not freezing up today, Governor. That's nobody. It's crazy in the vinyl community. We have too few people trying to do a good Bruce Stern impersonation. I like to bring it. He's starting to twist and go. Oh my God. But he might have Spectrum Internet. I don't know what the heck's going on. Now, these shows that Grant and I do, they usually only go for an hour anyway. So we're not in for the. He's just got.
I don't know. The internet is hokey. It's
Ah.
Breezeline.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Breezeline, but I've never had a show go down like this.
Like this is crazy. Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I love that line, right? Of course, the day the music died, Don McLean. Beautiful album, 1972. And then Brian McFadden's Silent Running. I've got a 4K press of Silent Running with Bruce Stern. I saw that film in 1972 at the theater. I just moved back into Victoria, British Columbia, and there it happened. Geek-Tac is talking. Hold on.
What?
What's happened, Grant, is Sue and I have adopted a frog.
What?
We had a plant. It's getting winter's coming, right? It's the fall.
Yeah.
We've had summer. So Sue had one of our plants, a beautiful little fern sitting outside.
Yes.
She brought it in, and then we started hearing like this croaking thing, like the frog sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now it goes every now and then, and it's living with us. We've got to feed it. We
a
don't
pet.
want it to expire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our new thing.
You two don't have a pet though, do you?
No, we did, but we aren't allowed in this. We're in a nursing home now, so we're not.
You're not in a nursing home.
It's similar. We're in this old people's
Someone died down there.
park, you know. Yeah, we had one of our
Probably
neighbors
old
pass.
age down
Old age down the road.
Okay.
Silent Running is a great sci-fi film. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, environmental message, which I'm not keen on. But I'll tell you one thing, I like Bruce Stern and Huey, Dewey, and Louie. That was fantastic. No, it's not a licking type frog. We're in Canada for
What's a
love of Christ.
licking frog?
It's the ones down in South America, Central America, and you can lick them and you get high. Herman, well, not Herman, but what's the guy? You know, Simpsons. Oh, you know, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to lick those. That's poison. That's why
Yeah,
you're
well,
getting high.
yeah, you don't want to, you know, jeez, man. What a way to go. I'm not licking toads, Governor. Anyway.
Well, we're still connected though, right? Are we
Yeah,
still
we're still
everything
we're on
running
TV.
okay now?
Everything's going there, loving the show.
So who was it that said Breezeline? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
G-Tac.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, I'm not sure what's the best because I used to have Breezeline was bought Wow, and I never had any issue with Wow. And then when Breezeline took over, it's been questionable.
That is so true, Scoozy's Ghost. True story.
Mm-hmm.
We had a friend, he went, Coldwager went to Peru to lick frogs. He slowly went insane. It's true. He did, because he was doing a lot of drugs down there. He'd go into the cave and have the psychedelic experience,
And
the
he went down there, like,
Anahuska, whatever the heck that
he went
is.
down there every year for a few years.
Yeah, and he slowly went insane, like many of us in the vinyl community, waiting for Beatle records.
I hear you that. Did he
So,
really go insane now?
Yep. He went paranoid.
He went, he got paranoid, delusional, schizophrenic, basically.
Yeah.
It's happened. It's like what's his name? Sid Barrett from Pink Floyd. You can lose it.
There you go. Breeze Line grew too fast a couple of years ago and got way out of their over their skis. Built out. Can't talk. Built out too much and didn't hire enough people to support it. Well, it's sketchy, but I've never had a show go out yet.
Correct on that one, Tyler Patterson. Yeah, my internet's good. JD Souther, we lost him today or yesterday. What a shame. I love that When You're Only Lonely. I love that song. What a great Roy Orbison-esque hit that was. And it was on the air. I was telling the kids on my show, it was on the air when John Lennon was killed. 1980, it was all over the airwaves. That and Hungry Heart with Bruce Springsteen were two big songs that I remember in December of 1980 that were floating and doing very well on the airwaves, along with John starting over. Right?
I never really got into J.D. Souther. You could play something, I wouldn't even know it's him.
Oh, wow.
He never really took off in the States.
When you're feeling, he's an American boy, and he hung out with Jackson Browne, Linda. I think he dated Linda, and he was all part of Asylum Records, Warren Zevon, all those cats. He's hanging around with them.
All right, Super Straight.
Heads gonna roll.
So, have you gotten anything new though?
Have I got anything? Have I purchased anything new?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always buying something. I go down and pick stuff up. Rich is on it. Linda Ronstadt's longtime boyfriend. You know what's interesting? This was gifted to me, and then up on the wall, which is hard to see, but that's Randy Stonehill from 1976. And I saw he's a Christian artist. He's on Larry Norman's label there. And he was very good. It's considered a very important Christian type album. And it's very good. And it's produced by none other than, or it's engineered by none other than Andy Johns.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes, that Andy Johns. And Andy Johns also did In Another Land for Larry Norman's album the same year, 1976. Mm-hmm. My grad year, as it turns out.
Crafting with Amanda. Amanda, welcome aboard. Nice to see you.
That's Amanda. She's from our show.
All right.
She comes through the crafting community.
She's really nice. And
okay, here's a good question. Just Another Map wants to know, Grant, if the XTC album cover you got behind you,
yes,
Drums and Wires, is that a picture of Nigel?
I don't know if it's Nigel, but it's on there.
Yeah, he's only making plans for Nigel.
And that is an original promo poster from Drums and Wires.
When we did our 70s, I chose off of that album, Life Begins at the Hop. I think that was one of the songs I picked.
I believe you did. And
Boys and Girls. That's a fantastic song. Colin Mowbray.
Memphis Lonnie, hey, Grant, I interrupted Frank Zappa's 50th anniversary box set of Apostrophe to watch you. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you like Drums and Wires, you got to get this one too. Hang on. The Uffington horse. The white horse of Uffington. You need it. Because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working overtime. Gee, I wonder if that'll appear in the 80s special.
I hope so.
It will. I think it will.
Well, Crafting with Amanda, I'm giving you a wrench.
Yay.
Yeah,
Amanda's lovely.
She's good.
She is such a good one.
She's worthy.
Yeah.
And Just Another Map, I'm giving you a wrench.
Wow.
I do the same thing. I just try to keep track of people that are new.
Yeah.
And I notice if everybody has a wrench, well, maybe not on your show, but I've noticed on my show, everyone plays nice because everybody's got a wrench.
Yes.
I think it's brilliant. Loki's got something.
Oh my God.
Except Loki likes a stir-up problem.
Yeah, that's.
Grant, can you ask Rachel where she gets the stamina from to do so much live streaming? I can't believe she's committed to an extra emergency Patreon straight after this.
Just horrible.
I could do this all day.
Holy smokes.
But I mix mine up with live and recorded stuff. I'm constantly, either for Criterions or for this, constantly editing something.
I guess Dope Throne maybe Dope Throne. Dope Throne's a doom metal. It's pretty heavy. I got
Heaviest
Saint
album.
Vitus. Saint Vitus is pretty heavy. So I got a Cathedral album. They're kind of on the heavier side. I would say that because doom is so it's that trudging. It's heavy. It's like you're in, it's slow moving but heavy. I got a Behringer pedal. They call it the doom metal pedal.
Behringer, aren't those cheapy pedals?
Super cheap. But everything else is like Boss pedal. I'm a Boss person, right? Mm-hmm. But I do have the Behringer, and for my fuzz, and there's a lot of reviews on it because it's not a road pedal. It's just going to stay here. I'm a living room player. It can do all those sounds for me. It's got all
Cape Cod Ken. I'll be seeing Cape Cod Ken on the 80s cruise coming up in March.
Oh my.
Or it's end of February. Defroom's fun. I don't like Brian McFadden always tries to get me turn me on to doom, and I don't.
Yeah. I like some of it, and of course the grandfathers of doom. You got to put Black Sabbath in there.
All right, who's the riffiest? Riffiest?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So virtuoso. I like Prog. I'm a Yes person. My second favorite band of all time. So Steve Howe's work in Yes is amazing. And if you've ever watched anybody play Trevor Rabin's Changes, I saw Union Tour in 1991. What was amazing about that is you've got Steve Howe doing intricate acoustic work. And meanwhile, over on electric, you had Trevor Rabin doing blistering fast fills on electric. And so the combination of the two styles was just absolutely stunning to look at. Of course, with Union, you had not only Andy White, but you also had Bill Bruford. So both drummers, you could see Tony Kaye, who I liked from 901 to 5. He was great. Tony Kaye was there, but also Rick Wakeman. So it was quite a good show. The critics didn't like it, but to hell with critics as far as I'm concerned. I liked it. I'm the fan. I'm the record buyer. So my opinion counts more than the reviewers in the paper at the time.
Well, what do you feel? How do you feel about the Union album as a whole?
It's okay. It's not their greatest. It was just fun to see them perform it live with all those musicians out there. And what was remarkable about that tour, at the final song on it, they were all playing, and the music, like Yes can do, it goes, it's way out. Everybody's going everywhere. And then it comes back in, and it ends on a single note. And then Steve Howe lifted his acoustic and did a riff. Just boom, single note, end of show. And you just go, oh my God, jaw-droppingly good stuff.
D Rocker mentions that new Dane Donahue LA Rainbow album. I've got the one record he put out like in the 70s, and it's a great yacht rock album. I haven't heard. Is the new one out, D Rocker, already? I mean, he's traveling under the radar. He's pretty obscure.
Yeah, I like the wah pedal. I've got a wah down there. The Vox wah. Down in British, like British Union Jack or Union flag there. Kind of wild. Blue, red, white, and blue. So that's kind of fun to do. Wow.
Oh, prog rock. I feel the gimmick of both sides of the group at the time added to the excitement and uniqueness of that time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish the album was better. There's a lot of studio musicians on it, and I'm not sure who really played on that record. Best vocalist living. Oh.
You know who I like? For female, I love Emily Braun, who is Mercure. She's a black metal artist she's from Denmark. She did a beautiful, just a stunningly beautiful album called Folk Songe. And I highly recommend the album. It's just beautiful. My God, it is just lovely.
I'm going to go with, I don't know the best vocalist, but if we're talking rock, I'm going to go with Robin Zander, Cheap Trick, because he still sounds
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah, I've always liked him. Best vocalist, male vocalist going right now that's still alive. God.
I mean, if we're talking like people that have been around
yeah.
a while, I'm still, Robin Zander's wonderful, but just if we're just talking contemporary people that are recently come on the scene.
I guess
know.
I mean, I love John Anderson. John Anderson's got a great, I love his vocals.
Yeah, John Anderson still sounds good. Paul Rogers, I think, still sounds great.
Paul Rogers had a setback, but he's doing better, and he's in my part of the world now.
Doesn't Ian Gillan though sound better on record than he does live though? I'm just throwing it out there. I think he does.
I like the comment though that Paul Rogers' voice has aged insanely well.
Glenn Hughes, another good example, who can still bring it even after all the drug abuse and the lifestyle that guy had. He still sounds
There's a rock
great.
and roll heaven. I bet they have a hell of a band. Alice Cooper still sounds great. Alice was always great, fun music. I'm a big Alice Cooper fan. Love him.
Rob Halford ain't bad. Star recently saw Deep Purple and didn't disappoint. Yeah,
I heard they were good. Yeah.
Martin Popoff saw them and he thought they were great.
Oh, Dolly Parton. Yeah.
Yeah. Star, real quick, I forget. Star's a big, I love Star. She comes on my, she comes to listening part. I love Star. But Star, I forget, what was your favorite Kiss album? You know, in Star's basement, they have a whole museum, a Kiss museum.
Oh, wow.
They've got tons of stuff. She's amazing. Yeah, but Dolly Parton, Dolly still sounds good. Ian sounds better on record, but he's 79. Exactly. Well, it's like, I don't have a problem with David Lee Roth, but have anybody heard of those tracks that he's been releasing? Like he'll just do like a new version of Jump or whatever, or he'll just sporadically just put stuff out. He sounds great on that, but then when you listen to him live, he's like a studio singer. He can't sing live, but he sounds great on all the stuff he's been putting out, just randomly submitting stuff on YouTube.
Good. Van Halen was so good. I mean, and the acting, the movement, and the excitement. I mean, that was all youth. That's kind of an advertisement for rock and roll being a young man's game on that level.
Tyler really likes Paul Rogers' last album, Midnight Rose, released last year. Yeah, I haven't heard that. I haven't picked it up. There's, at this point in my life, Rachel, with all these shows, all I'm doing is prepping all the time. I can't just go out and go, oh, okay, let's listen to this. It's constant prep. And I'm prepping for a Slade series that we're going to do.
Oh, Slade's great, yeah.
Slade. And, there's a lot there. Here's more Slade.
Yeah, I've got that on vinyl.
But we're going to go through all the records. So
yeah, I got a couple of Slade in the collection.
Hardly with all the excess for peers. Let's see. Oh, come on, Star. I know, but you have a favorite. I want to hear it. Studio Tricks, folks. Maybe, but I think David Lee Roth sounds good on his current stuff. Yeah, but I don't think, I guess he's still, I guess he's all right. That last record sounded pretty good. Did you all see Van Halen live? I never saw him live.
No, I had a chance to see everything, but back in the 70s, they come out late 70s, when I was kind of first time around, I didn't have any money then. Mm-hmm. And then 84, I don't know, they probably played Vancouver at some point, but it would have meant leaving Victoria because I'm on the island to head over. It was always a deal to go.
The Dead vocalist best, Steve Marriott. I think Steve Marriott, when he's in the Small Faces, I think that's when he sounded the best, but then he blew his voice out with Humble Pie.
Well, he was drinking a lot too.
Yeah, but man, that Small Faces stuff. Oh,
yeah,
Ogden's, and I love all that stuff.
Oh, Andy Johns was the engineer on the Fall. We are what small faces are but for us. We small faces are
All
but
right.
for that
Star
album. He's the engineer on that.
Star Peters, the biggest Kiss fan I know. Number one is Dress to Kill.
Dress to Kill. I got it. That's That's what I called for my favorite. So
I
that's
was sure she'd say Hotter Than Hell, but that's okay.
boy, oh boy, I love hearing that. Yeah,
Victoria is
Dress to Kill.
beautiful.
But Hotter Than Hell is right up there for me too.
Wait a minute. I thought Ian Anderson lost his voice. That he sounds terrible.
Oh.
Is that true or not true? Maybe not. Brian says it's not. Oh, here we go. The holidays are coming. I'm ready to queue up Slade. I'll join hands for New Year's Eve.
My buddies went to that show. Eddie Money, 2 tickets to Paradise. My buddies went to that show. I think it was the Eddie Money part that I wasn't into. I don't know about this.
I like Eddie Money.
Yeah, I know, but for paying for money for it and going over, leave the island, take the boat, do the thing. And then I'm like, what am I, 79? I'm 21. So I didn't have a lot of money.
Saw Van Halen 79 at an awesome show.
Yeah.
Super Strike loves the ferry ride from Vancouver to Victoria.
Yeah, it is a nice ride. It's a very relaxing little trip.
Slade Alive, great album. Yeah, we're going to... Here, I can show what I've just got.
Yeah, I got that one. Slade Alive, I have.
Here's like the box, Slade box set. All the world is a stage, and it has Slade Alive, Slade on stage, Alive at Reading, Live at the Hucknall Miners Welfare Club, and Live in New Victoria. So, and I just played... what did I play? I played a couple of these. I played the Reading show, which is incredible. And that's the one where they got back together. They'd broken up. And that's the one where they went on before, before Death Leopard. And just freaking blew Death Leopard off the stage. And I think Joe Elliott said, you got to be careful who goes on before you.
Wow.
But they broken up, came back, Rachel, and freaking nailed it. And people, I guess, were going boo, boo in the beginning, but they were just so... You got to hear Live at Reading. Very incredible. They were a great live band. I see there was an Eddie Money song released not long ago. I don't know.
He's passed away now, of course.
Oh, look at this, Brian McFadden. I saw Halen 5 times.
5, yeah.
For a Carnal Knowledge tour with Eddie... had the leg brace and completely wasted on painkillers and completely lost in the moment at the time. Sounded fantastic. That's good. Oh, here we go, Star. We're going to go see Ringo next week at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. So psyched.
Wow, what a venue.
And Ringo still brings it.
Yeah, Ringo's doing good. He's another one. His vocals aren't demanding, so he still sounds like he always did, it seems.
The last time I saw Ringo was on the second All-Star Band tour. That was the last time I saw him. But I saw him on All-Star Band. They played, I think, the fairgrounds at Ohio State Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Ringo's great.
Yeah, I saw him with Levon Helm, and I think, is that the first one? Levon Helm, Clarence Clemens, Niels Lofgren, Dr. John.
Yeah, I think that might have been it.
Rick Danko.
Well, I think Joe Walsh was there.
Yeah, Joe was there on the one I saw. But Joe has done a number of the tours with him.
Ringo wasn't even the best vocalist in the Beatles.
That's a powerful comment.
Ooh, Cape Cod Ken seeing Gilmore in New York City in November.
Yeah, there's a little news surrounding all that. Just in terms of the controversy with Roger Waters and like.
Ringo has Billy Squire and Colin Hay playing guitar.
Yeah.
Now? Billy, I thought was retired. I don't know. I thought he was retired. Maybe he's back out. I don't know.
Well, maybe Ringo could get him out. I know that.
Okay, I saw Ringo in 2014. This would be incredible. Steve Lukather, Greg Raleigh, and Todd Rundgren.
Yeah.
Wasn't Todd like his musical director there for a while?
He could very well have been.
Might have been.
But Ringo was fantastic when I saw him. The lineup we had, because you had Danko and Levon Helm, they did The Wait. Holy crap. I mean, that was just jaw-dropping stuff. It was amazing. Because of the song you're hearing, you're seeing these guys, right, doing it. Well, Jim Keltner was there. Great, Traveling Wilburys. So,
yeah, Dave Coverdale was very good. He's not very good now. He was. Oh, the last show I saw was King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Are you familiar with them, Rachel? Have you ever?
I know who they are. Yeah.
I've got one CD of theirs.
They put out an amazing amount of content, like product. Like they throw out three, 4 records a year, it seems.
Rachel, what do you think about the crazy prices for meet and greets? Do you think they're worth it? I've never done one.
I haven't done one, and I don't think I would do one. I wouldn't pay. I'd arrange another way if I want to talk to some rock god.
Yeah. Love Roger Waters, warts and all. I don't have a problem with Roger Waters.
Yeah.
Levon is awesome. The night they drove Dixie down, especially the last waltz.
No, I don't believe they did.
What, this?
On the Ringo, at the Ringo tour.
Mm.
Cape Cod Can, that's powerful endorsement.
Look at that. I would pay for a Rachel meet and greet. Rachel, do you think there's any possibilities that we'll have a meet and greet in your future?
Very possible. We were just down in Seattle, so we saw it's like I'd love to get to New York. My son has been to New York. My mom lived in New York in the 40s and 50s for a period of time, both times. She went to Juilliard. I was telling the kids the other day. And so I would love to go to New York. She was on the Upper West Side back in the 40s and 50s there.
Mm. My dad used to live there when he went to visit his mom in the 30s. That's a whole other story. My channel has music I have been seeing. All right, Dark Room Wizard, check that out.
You got a wrench, you can drop a link to your own show.
Yeah.
So people can see. Yeah.
There you go. I didn't know you could do that. There you go. Wizard, drop the link to your show in here. I don't know. Look at this, Loki. I'd pay to watch Rachel at a track meet. My goodness.
I do a few videos where especially for my Patreons, where I'll suddenly kind of have a burst and just go for a run.
And Dagon would too. You're very popular, especially around the track circles.
Yes, it's the whole thing. That's the way it goes.
I didn't know that's I didn't know that. I don't know. Well, Rachel, we've won an hour, even though you've pretty much carried the show for me.
Oh man, you did great though. But
I appreciate you carrying on the show. But who else could carry on Grant's Rock Warehouse but you? So,
wow. High praise and Grant, I love you. So, when's our next get together?
Okay. Oh, look, here we go. Todd Evans.
Evans, good Welsh name.
Hey, Todd, nice to see you. Well, Rachel,
Sunday.
Okay, everybody, tune in this Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Grant's Rock Warehouse. We will have Rachel back. We will be playing 80s. 2 hours, probably 2 hours and a half. We keep it loose. It's all about everybody hanging out, talking music. And really, we'll have some picks, and hopefully we'll have some stuff that maybe you haven't heard before, and we can turn you on to stuff. So yes, Rachel will be back. Rachel will be back next month for our chat. And of course, I'll have Rachel back. She comes back every month for a listening party and our show. So she will be back in October. So always tune in.
Looking forward to it. We have such a great time. We're going to have a good time. So I just want to say thanks to Grant, obviously, for hosting and making me feel welcome and everything. And it's really good for the vinyl community, I think, for different parts of it, for us to connect and do things, because at the end of the day, we're all about the music. So
Todd Evans is here. The whole chat just goes crazy.
He's very popular.
Todd's very popular. My wayward son could carry it. Hello, Todd. Yes. Ken, hello. Sweet. Always a fun. So, Star. Haven't seen Star here for a while. I need you here on Sunday, Star. because I love it when Star's here.
Oh, I love that.
Well, I love everybody here, but Star is really special.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's special, but
you're allowed to have your favorites. There's nothing wrong with that.
I love Star. She's great. Todd Evans, he's happy. Everybody's happy. All right. Well, we've went an hour. Thanks for carrying it. Tune in Sunday, 8 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a big party.
Well,
and I am planning a Halloween show, and I think it's going to be on the 31st. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. I don't know. I've got things in the fire. I don't know. I'm going to try to get Pete Pardo back here in October.
Very cool.
Oh, the warehouse is busy. So anyway, thanks everybody for coming on to our chit chat. Rachel, nice to see you.
Grant.
Sue, nice to hear you.
You too.
All right. And we'll see you on Sunday, everybody. Have
Take
a good
care,
night,
everybody.
See ya.
Bye.